Hello and welcome back to another patch 6.1 video. So today I'm going to be talking about profession changes, and well, I know that might not be crazy interesting to a lot of you, but listen on, because it's going to have quite a ripple effect because of how professions have been implemented in Warlords of Draenor. Now, the original implementation of the patch 6.0 professions hasn't really gone down that well, and there have been a number of problems in comparison to how professions used to be, and many people who are interested in crafting feel like a lot of, I think, flexibility and choice and things like that have just been taken away. Well, the good news is that it looks like Blizzard are going to be taking some steps to improve that with patch 6.1. Personally, one of my biggest problems with 6.0 was the fact that everything was tied to cooldowns, and that really was a chore. It meant that logging in every day was really just a laundry list of little chores you had to complete if you wanted to craft, whereas you might just, want to run off and do something cool on your character. So, let's get into what they've changed. So first of all, there are new profession I think they're called like trader NPCs that can appear in the town hall of your garrison. Now, oddly enough, this is actually contained within the same system that handles the other visitors that can appear in your garrison daily. If you're not aware, essentially, there are 5 different kinds of NPCs. There are ones that will give you a dungeon boss quest, there are others that will give you a weekly raid boss quest, there are some which will give you a bounty quest, which is to go and basically just kill a slightly stronger mob out in the world. There is an NPC which will give you a relic hunter quest, which I've covered on the channel, and then you can also get a profession quest, so a profession trader. So basically 1 out of every 5 days, on average, you will get a profession related person at your garrison. Now the issue is that within that, you then are split up into having a leather trader, a fur trader, an ore trader, and a herb trader, and I'm assuming there'll probably be some sort of trader for Draining Tusk, because that seems a little bit, not covered in the current ones that are on the PTR. Now, honestly, I think that is a bit sort of bad, really, because you've got a 1 in 5 chance of getting 1 in 5 of the people to spawn, and what if that's not the one that you want? I just think that's a little bit odd. But essentially, what these traders will be able to do is allow you to turn in raw crafting resources for primal spirits, and it seems like currently the rate is about 5, so 5 raw beast hides will give you a primal spirit. Now this might seem a bit OP to you, but primal spirits are going to be a far more expendable resource in this patch. These NPCs also give a daily quest that comes along with them, which asks you to turn in, I believe it's 50 of a uncommon crafting resource, and for that you will actually get a total of 25 primal spirits, which is an extremely good trade. Now, these resource traders will also sell some other things, actually. They sell recipes for the next level of crafted gear upgrades, and they also sell recipes which will allow you to make cooldown resources without a cooldown in return for a primal spirit. So essentially, if you are, I don't know, a leather worker and you want to make burnished leather, well, you'll be able to create it without a cooldown for the cost of, I think it's 1 primal spirit, along with just your regular raw beast hide, which is, I think, extremely good because it has sucked so badly being tied down to the crafting resources the way that we have been, because if you want something, you can't just go and craft it. No, you have to log in on that character religiously every few days to make sure you've always got that stuff checked out, and if you've got multiple characters, that can just be a pain in the arse because you're not playing the game, you're just dealing with busy work, which isn't really what a lot of people are particularly interested in. So overall, I think that these new traders are a really, really good addition. Now, of course, they are adding, the 4th level of crafted gear, which will allow weapons to be 670 and armor to be 680, and that just is pretty expensive, as you would probably imagine, but the main change here is freeing up primal spirits and allowing you to craft as many things as you want with those crafting resources, assuming you've got the primal spirits. It really is it's just a ginormous change to how crafting has been in Warlords of Draenor. It takes away that cooldown based element and really just frees it up. I'm very happy that that's been done, honestly, because now it feels like if you want to just maybe dump 10,000 gold worth of resources to make a whole bunch of stuff, you can just kind of sit down and have maybe a morning of dealing with your professions instead of, well, you know what I mean, like sometimes if you're a profession or, a crafter, you just really want to sit down, deal with all your crafting, you can just do that now. You can blow through those primal spirits for your cooldown resources, which will just give you a lot more freedom, and I think as well, it will really just change up the markets a little bit more. I think it's going to lead to a more interesting economy because players will have a little bit more freedom in terms of how they craft. So I think overall this is just a fantastic change. However, it's definitely worth noting here that it shouldn't have needed to happen. They really did cock it up so badly with patch 6.0, in my opinion anyway. I just didn't enjoy how crafting was done. I like the base idea of, you know, power to the people, crafting for everyone, but the way that they did it was just Facebook gamey. Let's be honest, it was... what was that game where you would come back every once in a while and you'd click? It was like, you know, Farmville or something. You come back after a few hours and you click on all your little things, and then you know, wait for another 4 hours for your next wave of resources to come. I just don't think that had any place in World of Warcraft, and it seems like Blizzard themselves have recognized this. Now that's not it for the video. We've got some other things to talk about, a little bit more miscellaneous, but the reroll items for crafted gear have now had their cooldown resource requirement removed, and instead it will cost more common resources. This is actually pretty exciting. It was, of course, again, a royal pain in the arse having to spend 10 of your cooldown resource on a reroll just to compensate for bad luck, and I think what this actually is going to do now is it's going to make those bits of crafted gear extremely powerful, because you'll be able to get perfect stats. Let's be honest, these resources, the common ones, are pretty easy to get. Of course, though, you do want to stockpile them now in patch 6.0, because when 6.1 comes out, your common resources, you know, like your leather and all that stuff, it'll be worth a lot more in the next patch, so stockpile it now if you want to be sort of shrewd about your money making. But anyway, you'll be able to consistently just re-roll your items until you've got the perfect stats that you want. This means that in comparison to many bits of raid gear, I suppose, you know, well, bar a bit of raid gear being of a higher item level, obviously, the crafted gear really is extremely good because it can just be perfect. So that is a interesting little thing. Of course, you could do that already, but now you're, I suppose, just a little bit more free to do it, and you can do it more since it doesn't cost anything to do with cooldowns. Next, let's talk about alchemists. The alchemists have had some good stuff. Alchemy was, I think, a little bit bare in some people's opinion after the Warlords of Draenor sort of snippings and choppings, and the good news is that you will be able to transmute sorcerous materials to other types. So for an example, sorcerous fire into sorcerous water. That could be pretty handy for market arbitration, though generally, like, by the time you take in the crafting cost of the actual transmute, it might not be worth it, so we'll have to wait and see how that pans out with the markets. Still, though, it's good, and I think it did suck out alchemists basically lost transmuting as a thing in this expansion. Now, the alchemy specialization, so potion specialization and transmute, are not active in Warlords of Draenor, so even though this is a transmute, you're not going to proc anything extra based on you having that proficiency. Now, you're also going to be able to transmute Savage Bloods for 50 alchemical catalysts. This is pretty cool because the catalyst can now be crafted without a cooldown. So this will be a very low-effort way of making Savage Bloods. Overall, I would expect that Savage Blood costs are going to plummet as of this patch, because it'll just be so much easier to get them. Hell, you'll be able to purchase them for Apex's crystals. I believe it's around 1,000 to 2,000 crystals. It's kind of not on the top of my head at the minute, but you will be able to purchase them for Apex's. You'll be able to create them via Alchemy. And yeah, it's really going to decrease the cost of Savage Bloods, so if you've got them right now and you're not planning on crafting something with them, maybe it would make sense to try to dump them in the market now and get some poor suckers who don't know that these changes are coming to buy them at a higher price. In terms of other alchemy things, your Philosopher's Stones are now getting upgraded, so they will be proper crafted epics, which start off at item level 640 at level 1 and can go all the way up to 680 at level 4, which is pretty damn good. Now, they're also adding in some secondary stat food, which is going to be 125 stats, which is better than a Savage Feast, but they will cost fish, which means the fisher people who enjoy the fishing will, I suppose, have something to do. And also, if you're a fisher, good news, your fish will now autofill it. I'm not 100% sure on the exact implication of that, but I remember my bag space being covered in various things when I did fish, and from what I hear, that will help to solve that problem. So overall, I've got to say, this is looking good. I was, you know, a little bit kind of miffed at professions originally, and now I'm feeling a lot better about them. Of course, as I said, these changes should not have needed to happen. They should have designed the professions better from the outset, but instead of sort of belligerently, you know, going on with their bad design, they're actually changing it and they're altering it, and they're hopefully fixing things. It seems like a lot of the, you know, parts of patch 6.1 are actually doing that. If you look at the daily quests, It can appear in your garrison via those visitor NPCs, of which those trader NPCs that I talked about earlier are a part. They really are a direct response to the idea that a lot of the garrison content in the world was just go out, grind some mobs. Well, now we've got a questline with the relic hunter things, and we've just got a lot more, I think, unique feeling stuff to do. It certainly seems like, well, this isn't going to be a groundbreaking patch, it's going to solve a lot of problems, and I think make lots of very welcome additions. Anyway, that's really it for this video. Quick little bit of IRL stuff to interject here at the end. So I've just moved back into university. It might take a few days for me to completely get up to full speed. I've got some cool ideas for videos, though. I'll, do like an overview of everything that's going on in patch 6.1, so you can just sort of have that in one place with some explanation. I've got some guides, I've got a few sort of hybrid top 10 guide things for finding old content, so hopefully there's going to be fun stuff coming. It'll just take me a few days to get up to speed and get sort of sorted out. Anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about these profession changes, especially, well, actually no, if you are someone who's really, really into crafting, absolutely let me know. Do you think this is like a big improvement? Or if you just sort of bounced off this and the crafting system of Warlords because you were like, oh god, Farmville, I'm leaving. Tell me, is this maybe going to sort of make you want to get back into professions? I'm kind of interested to know, and as someone who does enjoy the auction house from time to time, I think it could really improve the money-making gameplay that's out there. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.